Mr. President, are you deploying the additional troops to the region for deterrence or to optimize your operational capabilities?
We have unlimited ammunition. We have the greatest equipment in the world, and we are decimating Iran. It's about time.
We're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as hard as is necessary to ensure the interests of the United States of America are achieved on that battlefield.
With the order to bring the 82nd Airborne Division to combat readiness, military units at their home base began moving immediately. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed for weeks. The Navy is clearing mines from the seabed. A-10 Warthogs and OS-64 Apaches are hunting fast attack boats on the surface. But the ground threat remains. Iranian missile batteries and drone launch sites sit in the hills above the northern shore of the strait. Aircraft have destroyed many of them. Not all of them. The ground threat requires a ground answer. The order has been given. The 82nd Airborne Division is moving. The 82nd Airborne Division is not a conventional Army unit. It does not move by ship. It does not require a controlled port or a secured runway at the destination. It requires only an aircraft and an open sky. The division maintains one brigade on permanent standby at all times, the immediate response force. 3,000 soldiers. Bags already packed. Equipment already staged at the airfield. Weapons already drawn. When the order comes, they do not begin preparing. They are already prepared. The immediate response force can put 3,000 armed soldiers anywhere on Earth in under 18 hours from the moment the order is given. In 2020, they did it in 10. No other ground force on Earth matches this. The rotation begins the moment the order arrives. Transport trucks pull up to the barracks and staging areas. Soldiers load their rucksacks packed with changes of clothing, hygiene kits, first aid supplies, rations, and personal essentials onto the trucks and climb aboard. They have been told they are heading to the Middle East for an undetermined period of time. No return date, no set timeline. At the airfield adjacent to the division's home base, the C-17 Globemaster IIs are already on the tarmac. Rear ramps down, engines not yet running. Ground crews move between the aircraft with checklists, checking tires, inspecting engine intakes, verifying fuel loads. Each C-17 carries over 100 soldiers in full combat equipment, or a mix of soldiers and vehicles, or heavy equipment alone. Multiple aircraft are being loaded simultaneously. Inside the hangars, cargo handlers operate forklifts moving equipment pallets toward the ramps. Each pallet is shrink-wrapped and strapped ammunition crates, water containers, medical supplies, radio equipment, spare parts. The pallets are weighed before loading. The loadmaster for each aircraft stands at the ramp with a manifest, directing the sequence in which cargo goes aboard. Balance matters. An improperly loaded C-17 does not fly correctly. Tactical vehicles are driven up the ramps. Light armored vehicles are guided into position on the cargo floor by ground crew using hand signals. The vehicles are chained to the floor at multiple points. Each chain is checked for tension. Each tie-down fitting is inspected. At the altitudes and speeds a C-17 operates, an unsecured vehicle becomes a projectile. Meanwhile, on a separate taxiway, the airborne units are going through their own process. These are the paratrooper soldiers who will not wait for the aircraft to land at a secured airfield. They have already rigged their main parachutes on their backs and reserve chutes on their chests. They carry their weapons in soft rifle cases in their hands, slung alongside their combat packs. They form two columns and march toward a second group of C-17s waiting on the taxiway with ramps down. These soldiers will fly to the operational area, jump, and be on the ground before the bulk of the conventional forces even arrive by air transport. The soldiers arrive at their assigned aircraft in columns, marching from the assembly area across the tarmac. Each man carries a rucksack on his back and a weapon in his hands. Body armor is worn. Helmets secured. Every soldier has been through the manifest check name confirmed, equipment inspected, weight recorded, They walk up the ramps and take their seats in the red canvas web seating along the fuselage walls. Soldiers sit facing inward, knees close together, equipment between their feet. Loadmasters move through the cabin doing head counts. Numbers confirmed against the manifest. Every seat accounted for. The ramp at the rear rises slowly and locks into the closed position. The cabin seals. One by one, the C-17s start their engines. All 4 turbofan engines on each aircraft spool up from silence to a low rumble to full power. The aircraft vibrates. The soldiers sit still. The aircraft begin moving, taxiing in sequence toward the runway threshold. The first C-17 lines up, throttles advance to full power. The aircraft rolls and rotates, climbing steeply into the sky. Gear comes up. The aircraft turns south toward the Middle East. The second follows. Then the third. Then the next. The flight is long. Inside the aircraft, the soldiers sit in dim red lighting. Some sleep against their rucksacks. Others check their equipment one more time. Magazines counted, radio batteries confirmed, medical kit inventoried. The noise of the 4 engines fills the cabin at a constant level. Most soldiers sit in silence. When the C-17 carrying the paratroopers reaches the drop zone, the crew sends the signal to the troop compartment. Altitude. The jump masters give the commands. Paratroopers stand hook up, check their static lines, and begin moving toward the open ramp one by one. The cold air rushes into the cabin. They jump. Parachutes deploy in a long trail behind the aircraft. Within minutes, the entire stick is on the ground, collecting their chutes and moving to the rally point at combat pace. After dropping the paratroopers, the C-17 continues to an Allied airfield where it lands and taxis to the cargo ramp area. The rear ramp lowers. Vehicles belonging to the unit's support element are driven off. Cargo pallets are pulled out by waiting forklifts. The aircraft will turn around and fly back within hours to pick up the next lift. At Allied airfields across the region, UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters are already in the air flying additional personnel from staging bases to their assigned forward positions. The Black Hawks fly in pairs and groups. The flags are short and constant. Land, drop off troops, fly back, pick up more, repeat. The rotation does not stop. All units converge on their designated positions. The paratroopers who jumps link up with the vehicles and supplies that arrived by air. The soldiers transported by Black Hawk are at their posts. Heavy equipment and vehicles are arriving on follow-on flights. Every unit begins the same process. Weapons are checked, positions are assigned, defensive perimeters are established, communications are set up, ammunition is distributed, soldiers dig in, the force is assembling. More C-17s are already inbound from the home base, the next lift carrying additional troops and equipment. The aircraft cycle does not stop. Load, fly, unload, turn around, load again. The Strait of Hormuz is still closed. The next order has not come, but the force is here. It is armed, it is ready, and it is waiting.